Coming up on Talk is Cheap, we're going to take a look at the Russian Meteor in 2013. Was it shot down? And an underground base in Denver Airport. And some official government programs that studied UFOs. Up next on Talk is Cheap. Talk is cheap, where cheap is talk, and talk is cheap. I am Dan Hohlfeld, and with me,
Chad Loper.
And Dusty Long.
Back again, Chad. You did an excellent job last week. That car was pretty fucking interesting.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of fun.
Never seen anything like that before.
Maybe someday I'll find something in my backyard, or actually front yard it was.
Yeah.
We could only dream that it would be something that big, though.
No shit.
It might be a quarter or 50-cent piece, but I don't know about a Ferrari.
Yeah.
One thing I ever found was dried dog turds.
I got a bunch of them, too, if you want
Yeah,
some.
you got all kinds of those. You know? Just gotta fling them away. Anyway, I thought I'd bring up the Russian meteor that struck. Let me get the exact date here for you guys.
Isn't it on screen?
February 15th, 2013 was the day that hit.
Same time it's on screen.
Thank you.
Just trying to help you, bro.
Hey, maybe they didn't set their clock right.
All right,
I'm just
okay, yeah.
double checking.
All right. No, it's good to double check.
Yeah.
Double check, triple check. Yeah.
What do you think of it?
You want to know my honest opinion?
Yeah.
That a UFO shot the asteroid.
No, you don't.
No.
Russian asteroid. Get it
Yeah,
right.
it's a Russian asteroid.
Russian asteroid.
They owned it,
I mean-
right? They called it down the asteroid, and then they hired the
It
UFOs
was,
to...
it was remote control.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was such thing as a Russian meteor or American
Just
meteor.
a
but-
meteor.
It's just a meteor.
We can't
No,
classify it.
I have not seen the videos. I actually bypassed this completely because I thought, like I've said, there's some shit that's pretty far out there.
I was gonna say,
and that kind of goes a little further.
I
than
thought you had something to say about this one because we were mentioning it in a show. That's why I brought it up this time to see what you had to say about
because
it.
I think it's a little. Yeah. Anyway, I just don't believe that UFO just miraculously showed up.
I never said that.
I'm
Did
just
I ever
saying,
say UFO?
No, I'm saying UFO because I think and I know what this is.
No.
The asteroid came in. The reason I brought it up is because we don't know hardly anything that's out there, and we are scanning and whatnot. The funding to NASA, the funding to SETI, and all these other things have completely, dried up in essence. We have a near-Earth object collision type of program, and even they said they've only really mapped like 12% of the area that's or the sky or some shit. So that's the reason this is scary. The reason I brought it up is because we don't know. I mean, we hear about these Earth-killing asteroids that are coming close to Earth,
Right.
but there could be 5 or 6 of these things out there that we don't even know about.
This is kind of why I brought this up. I don't really believe. I know that the video I have here says alien UFO shoots down Russian meteor. I don't believe a UFO did it. I just believe it was shot down by government forces, whoever did it.
You think we shot down a meteor?
I think they did. Yeah. Otherwise, that would have hit the Earth. I think.
Was this one actually tracking towards the Earth?
Let's
Oh,
let's play this video
yeah,
and watch it. Something like right there hit. It could have been the atmosphere, maybe, but for the fact of nothing that big of a object not even hitting the planet after coming in like that, I believe it was probably like a missile or something that.
Well, it's interesting that asteroid is moving that fast and things that were shot out in front of it. Because anything that would come off that asteroid while it's coming into the atmosphere would go behind it, you would think. Then again, I really don't know the physics.
It might
of
be part of that secret space program where they can anticipate and get the right coordinate to intercept. See, then it just kind of burns out.
which is what asteroids do. That's why we see them at night for the shooting stars. I mean, this thing blew up in the atmosphere and broke windows.
Right.
Yeah, the concussion and whatnot.
That would have been had to have been some kind of missile or whatever, awfully big enough to
break
get that
it up.
kind of concussion and break that thing up.
Well, most asteroids, when they're coming into the atmosphere, get superheated, and then they have ice in the core most
Right.
times and whatnot. That can become superheated, turns into steam, and that's why your asteroids actually blow up in the atmosphere, or the liquid, metal, whatever it happens to be. And that's why we see them, most times when we see them coming through the atmosphere, we see that shooting star type of thing. I mean, that's just burning up through the atmosphere.
See, I think that's too big for the atmosphere to take care of.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not a fucking physicist or anything, but
My issue with this video though is they're saying it was shot down, but in that clip right there, there's no tracks whatsoever from another object hitting that thing. If it was one of our missiles or even one of theirs or whatever, there would be a track behind it leading
think.
right into that.
unless it's a new technology, the weapons they don't want people to know about, and they could easily, like a laser beam or something.
Yeah, the only way it could be is if it was some kind of laser beam, or even a laser beam you would think you would see, but maybe some kind of concussion type thing, electromagnetic pulse.
I actually just read that they made a laser that is white.
So you wouldn't even see it.
So yeah, that just came out now. They're talking about using they use a red, blue, and green filter to actually create white light through lasers, make light. All these lights we have, if we had laser lights, it'd be a lot cheaper. So I suppose if they just came out with that now, it wouldn't be out of the realm of normality to understand that maybe the government's had it before or already
And
for a while.
they just never brought it forward.
The only problem, I mean,
You'd think the atmosphere could actually have burned that whole thing up.
oh
like that.
yeah, oh yeah, I really do. Because you're gonna have, I mean, that was a big piece of rock, and that's gonna just be superheated. I mean, that's what our atmosphere is for. That's exactly the reason it does what it does. Now, I gotta say, the first video that we watched was interesting because they showed something flying into
Right.
it and then something projecting outside of it. Now, I wonder if that was kind of towards the side, maybe. I don't know, because the angles, you never can tell.
Because there's definitely nothing coming into the front of it.
No. And I wouldn't see why anything would actually shoot out the front. I mean, but then again, I'm not a physicist. I don't know. I like physics and I understand the basic ideology of it, but
And you would think, I mean, I am not an expert on missiles or anything like that, but you would think that with as hot as that is, and the track is of that coming in, if they shot a missile into the rear end of it, wouldn't that missile explode from the heat before it even touched it?
well, not to mention they'd have to catch up to the damn thing. So they'd have to attract it from space, figured out a targeting solution, figured it all out, knew when to shoot it, knew when it had to be.
I'm sure they knew all that stuff. I bet they knew it was coming for a little while.
And you would think that
Well,
it'd
you would
be
have
almost like
saw-
shooting a deer. You'd have to lead it,
Well, yeah.
Right, yeah.
because you're not going to hit it direct on.
And and the other thing is we don't know what these things are made out of. So depending on the makeup, the material it's made out of, when it hits the atmosphere, it could be actually change the velocity at which it comes in. It might
Right.
break up. I mean, they don't. I mean, unless they can scan meteorites and tell me what they're made out of, which they can. But I mean, you'd have to find this damn thing.
This could coincide with that. We were talking about a few weeks ago about that Star Wars program.
Oh yeah.
There's defenses there to take care of, and who knows how far ahead that technology is. They
Well.
could probably easily anticipate something.
Well, then I guess in essence, then this is a good thing. I mean, if they have something that an asteroid's coming down here and they were able to blow it up or superheat it before the atmosphere did, so it didn't hit the ground, then yeah, we got a really good program working for us.
Yeah, I suppose there could be a satellite up there that we don't know about that could take care of stuff like that too.
Maybe
Yeah.
James
I mean, they're not
Bond
going to tell
style.
us. Not going to tell us everything that
No,
they
I bet
got.
there's some
Well, no,
crazy
of course
shit
not.
going on up there that they want to keep quiet.
Whatever shot it down though is definitely invisible.
And that's not out of the realm of normality. I mean, we have invisible cloaks and shit right now.
That was just my opinion. I heard you discuss it,
Yeah.
and I thought you might have had something to say about it, but I guess not.
And I did. I mean, it's just interesting that we don't know what's out there and whatnot, and you hear a lot of people say, well, aliens aren't real and blah blah blah. Well, shit, we can't even tell when the asteroid's going to hit the Earth, so how can we tell what's out there and what's not? It kind of
Right.
gives a little bit of weight to the theories that we talk about at times. It really does. And the other thing, I brought it up just because it pisses me off that our government has gone ahead and said, you know, fuck NASA, fuck SETI, fuck all these damn programs, and space is the place where we need to be putting money, and we need to be trying to go there.
Oh,
We
the
need to
black
know
budget
that-
put a lot into it. Don't worry about it.
It's not enough. We ain't up there yet, and we ain't, you know, all
Oh
this
yeah,
other
we
stuff,
are.
so.
It's just not publicized.
Well, it needs to be publicized.
Yeah, I
But
agree
that's
with that.
not very hard. Pieces of paper, they can email them or whatever, you know.
They gotta bring it back slowly. They're just trying to say, hey, we discovered a planet that looks like it can habitat like Earth, you know.
Yeah, they just found one too.
But they've been saying that for a little while. They're just trying to incrementally bring us back up to where they are, where they're actually living on Mars and who knows where else.
They've said that about a lot of the planets that they discovered. Oh, we could habitat this, and then
Right.
they come back and say, well, it's almost like our habitat, but not quite.
It's true.
What is the not quite part?
They're always. It depends on the star most times. A lot of them are near Earth, but the star is either older, so it's hotter or cooler or some shit like that. So that habitable zone moves, and then of course it might not rotate that fast. All sorts of shit because you're gonna have a billion upon a billion different planets out there, and you know we found 12 or 14 near Earth-like objects or near Earth-like planets. I mean, we've only been looking for what, 2 years? I mean, we'll find one.
Not quite as like we have something up there, but we don't want the public to be up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
God forbid if I could get happy and actually go to space like I wanted to.
Oh yeah.
You know, talking about these planets that they say we can probably almost habitat, but yet they're hiding certain information and everything. I was going through some articles here earlier today and found some hidden underground military bases.
Denver, yeah, I kind of know about this
Denver.
one. Yep.
Has one underneath their international airport. It doesn't really say who it was that discovered it, but apparently they have quite the operation under there. I know that the international airport in Denver is the largest airport in the United States, second world largest. It does say in here exactly how big it is. I think it was like something like 52 square miles is how big this airport is.
Yeah, my little bit of research said it was pretty big myself.
I know that in the airport itself, it has all these fucking weird like murals that like show like the planet being whatever in flames and
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
arc of putting animals together. And
yeah, and like military, or like almost Nazi-esque type
Yeah.
of figures with guns and people running scared or some shit, and is
Yeah.
really kind of awkward. I don't know. You have an international airport, which means people are flying in from around the world, right? So is that what we want to?
I think
Welcome
this-
to America, where we apparently draw
Right.
murals of people burning each other. Or
I think the
some shit.
intention was to make Denver the actual like one of the capitals of the New World Order, like
And
They're in
which,
Atlanta, I
yeah,
believe.
and there's a article in here that somewhat confirms that part of it. They're saying that this facility was built to be used by our government in the event of that Washington or our central government's command hub is compromised.
right.
I know of one particular area, Dulce,
Dulce, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Mexico,
Yeah.
has a hidden underground
7
military
floors.
base
We've gone
as
over
well.
that.
Yes.
I gotta go into depth and do a presentation on it.
Yeah, I think you should, because we talk about it an awful
Yeah.
lot. We really do. Is that the same one where the Greys are down there and there's
Yeah. Well, Greys and reptilians.
Yeah, yeah. There was actually a guy in that article that particular article that said that he encountered the gray
same one we
aliens.
had with the guy that lost his fingers?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the base he was
That's
building.
the base
at
he's
time.
building? Yeah.
I'm thinking so.
Where he went down a hole that
Pilot hole?
Yeah, I'm not happy with that whole story at all.
But this one here, you know, it states right there in plain black and white letters that it was to be used. It was built to be used in case our government was compromised. But yet they're telling the people that the airport itself was built so far into the ground because of all the extra vibrations and everything from the trains and the airplanes coming in and everything. They didn't want the actual facility, the glass or anything like that, to break or the foundations to crack.
See,
but yet,
was this the one?
don't-
And Daniel, you might know, but I swear I watched or read something on this that the underground complex is what the cover story we should say is that they were starting to do a certain type of baggage handling or something, and then or it was old one and then it didn't work out, so they went ahead and rebuilt a new one. That's why this whole underground thing that the whole base that's down there was actually just like the first idea, and then they kind of left it alone. But then I watched it, and they have the Masonic, the Masons have a statue there. They have a plaque that says New Word NWO at the bottom of it, and they say that there's miles of tunnel underneath here. I take it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I read too.
I think it's probably connected with all those other underground bases, Dulce and whatever else.
Well,
yeah, the one in Dulce actually connects. There is a spot in the article where it says that it connects to another underground base in a different country or different state or something.
Yeah. Well, isn't this is in Colorado?
Yep.
Yeah. Where's that? Not Nordam. Jesus, someone's gonna know what I'm talking about. The big bomb shelter, the mountain that we got.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I just read up on that one too as well.
Oh,
I
shit.
can't remember the name of it. It's Mountain.
Anybody? Mount Vernon? No. Come on now, this is the hub.
I just read it
think
too,
I've
and
heard
I
of
can't
that.
remember.
Come on, it's
Where is it located?
a fucking mountain that they drilled into. It's a nuclear bunker. They have a 12-ton door.
Yeah, because they use the
That's a command
specialized.
center?
This was the one that was on Terminator 3. You're
Is
talking
that
about.
it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the name of it, but
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. That's in
They used a
Colorado.
specialized drill to make that.
To make it in there, they have a huge salt like bays where they have diesel and gasoline. They can house up to like 2,000 military people and family. They got fresh water in there already.
This wasn't in the Ozarks, was it?
No. This is in the
Okay.
mountains in Colorado. Now this makes sense though, because if this is made to go ahead and be a hub, well, you'd probably have a tunnel from there all the way to that mountain, whatever that's at. And then of course, since you're in that same general vicinity, it wouldn't be far-fetched. And I'd hate to think that we're doing this and we don't know about it, but it wouldn't be far-fetched to have tunnels going from there out to Area 51, to Dulce, back over, so forth and so forth. It wouldn't be hard to do.
And this thing here actually has more floors. This airport, the airport part of this has more floors in it than what the people know about. They
No shit.
numbered them off to throw other people off.
No shit.
There's more floors underneath of it.
I'm sure
Then
you
there
need a
is-
special
then-
key or something to go down.
Oh yeah, definitely, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't say that whether there's elevators or not, but I'm
Well, I'm sure.
betting that there is.
I'm sure. It's the worst part about this whole thing is if you go and look at Russia's underground bases, the Russians are building them for the people. That's
Right.
what fucking pisses me off. Is Russia's like, hey, you know what? We're gonna build a bunker. It's gonna house 200,000 people. You put a whole city in this fucking thing. It's underneath the mountain. Because, and I swear it's because they're waiting for the next nuclear fucking war. They're like, fuck it, we're just gonna hide.
For the people, by the people.
Yeah. So
They
and,
know
and
it's
they
coming.
understand. The Russians. I think the Chinese are doing it too. They understand that. You know what we gotta do. Oh, North Korea's doing it too. I know that. They have a bunch of underground shit apparently. But they understand
They're
that. You know
always
what? The government has to survive. The government has to have the people. And Russia's, from what my research is, that Russia's building these bunkers that'll hold a city. The civilians are going to be able to go down there. Whereas in America,
See, I know-
all the bunkers are for the military
Right.
and government, and then all of us are going to have to sit here and fucking turn into mutants and then start like fucking eating goddamn each other's
See,
heads.
I'm pretty sure they got city-sized ones down there, but
They ain't for us.
only for certain people.
Yeah, the elitists.
Yeah.
And maybe their family and friends, and then the slaves are going to bring them with them because...
And then maybe the male prostitutes.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have a room for that.
I wonder they'll pull that big fucking owl out there. Oh, it's a nuclear time. Pull that fucking owl. Get him down there. And that sexy fucking transvestite. Weird.
I was just reading a spot on here. It says the landfill located off of Tower Road, 2 miles west of the Japanese Japan
Can't see.
terminal, was added onto in the early 2000s despite the airport's appeal to the district court against the landfill. So they put this landfill in added it onto, and put it right up next to it. I'm guessing that's a Japanese terminal.
Oh, that's nice. What are we
Hidden
trying
in-
to say about the Japs?
Yeah, hidden in plain sight.
They're nice people. Yeah, this whole thing, I actually want to go down there. I don't know, when we do our Utah trip next year,
Tim Griffin went down there.
did he?
Yeah.
Did he say it was?
He took pictures of the murals and stuff.
Did he?
It was-
Yeah.
I
He went
think
down there
we should
just
do it.
last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was gonna go again this year, I think.
Well, I think we should go down there again, or we should go down there and we go to our Utah thing. And when we go down there, though, should do
Interview.
some covert shit.
See, Jesse was there too. I don't know where the entrance is. I suppose it's a special door, and I'm sure it's heavily guarded, and they ain't gonna let anybody go down there.
Now all you gotta do is walk like you're meant to be
And
there.
it's a matter of whether you can even figure out which door it is, because I
Right.
mean, it specifically states in here that everything is marked in the airport to throw everybody off. Nobody knows exactly what doors do what.
That's crazy.
All you're gonna know is your terminals.
I'm guessing the only ones that are going to know anything are the ones that built it and our government.
My question is why would they even use it as a running airport if they don't want people fucking around in
It's
there?
just easier to hide things in plain
Yeah,
sight.
I guess, yeah.
it really
yeah,
is.
That's what it said.
I mean, that's why a lot of your criminals today hide out in the open. Nobody looks for you out in the open. They look for you where you're going to be hiding at.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
There was a guy not too long ago. He was a ex-rapist or murderer or some off the wall thing. Escaped from prison years ago. Guy's like 80-something years old now, and somebody just discovered that he was an escaped convict from some prison from way back when he was
No
like
shit.
20-something years old.
We lived a healthy, fruitless fucking life. Yeah, we do really well. Are we still missing those damn prisoners from all the other prisons that have been getting out? Anyone
haven't heard
know?
anything about it.
Which
Jesus.
is prison?
Well, there's a couple guys who've gotten out of a couple prisons lately.
We had a
they
couple
had-
up in Black River Falls
Yeah.
that got out.
And then there was some in down south somewhere. Two or three, four fellers got out of there. It's two fellers. One was like some kind of weird fucking killer and shit. I don't know if we ever found those bastards. They've been hiding up in the woods. Pete. Next time when Pete comes back on, we're gonna ask him because I love that. He says, "There's fugitives that haven't been caught, and they can't find them in these woods. So tell me that there's not a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot." I'm like, oh my god, Pete, only you.
I see the connection.
Maybe
Yeah,
they're
I mean, it's
maybe-
true though, right?
Maybe they're hiding in these hidden bases.
What would be interesting is stumbling upon one of these, not the base itself, but maybe like a utility shaft or an air vent out in the middle of the woods. You're just like, what the hell? And then, of course, curiosity gets the best of you, and then you start going down the air shaft, and the laser beams cut you in half, and your mama
Because
doesn't know where you're at.
I don't care who you are. You know, if you see an empty you see a shed out in the middle of the woods, you're going in it.
Yeah, most times, yeah. Depends on what's on the outside. You know, if there's bones and stuff, probably not.
I'm going in it.
You would.
A little urban exploration comes out of you there. You just got to know what's in there.
I'm going in.
I would too.
I would.
To get back to the original title on the article here, so this guy actually went down there. Is that correct?
Yeah, this guy actually went down there. The story was written by Shepard Embellis, but I didn't see anywhere where it gave the name of the guy that actually went in there.
You didn't get
This
it.
is an actual photograph of one of the tunnels.
He's on a train then.
Yeah, that
Where a
looks
train's
like a
going by.
train
I
off
thought it
the
was-
side.
Yep.
When Jesse Ventura went down there, he said, "Yeah, they got the subway system or whatever."
Well, that's like the Russian subs. The fuck's that called? I forgot the name of it, but they have a subway system that's off the charts. Russia does. They built it during the Cold War and
Yep.
to haul all the. It's supposed to be big enough that you can drive tanks down the damn thing too, and they can transport troops, trains, munitions, and vehicles outside of Moscow to all sorts of damn
Yeah.
places. So I mean, it's not far fetched. As a matter of fact, you would have to say our military isn't doing their job if we didn't have secret underground bases. I mean, in all reality, we got to keep the government going. We got to keep the country going. At the same time, is they're not really building for us, and they even, and I understand the ideology of secretism, but at the same time, I would like to know that our government's like, hey, you know what? We built a domed fucking city underneath Houston, Texas, and y'all are, if there's anything goes wrong, there's 7 of these things all over the nation, and that's where you go ahead, But no, instead it's, okay, well, shit hit the fan. I hope to God you made your own bunker.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't? You just
See
have
ya.
a cardboard box?
Kind of like the whole the 2012 movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When they had those
the
arcs
3
and
arc ships.
Nobody was told except for
The
the
rich,
guys
yeah.
that were millionaires.
Yeah.
And I always thought something was going to happen in 2012, and I did feel, I always say this, I feel like different like 3 days before.
I didn't.
A frequency shift, but other than that,
Then again, there is a global. It's actually I watched some science show on it, how the world, the globe, and how we're all connected because they put these little sensors all over the world, and it kind of like sensors like excitement. You know how you get excited?
yeah.
You get that little deal. It kind of measures that kind of activity in the air or some shit, and they always have this peak right before something happens. So if a volcano goes off, or 9/11 was one, it peaked really big. And that's when I watched it, was right around the 9/11 thing. It peaks for like 12 to 24 hours before it happens.
So did it peak before
So,
2012?
The hell if I know. I
Oh.
thought the 2012 thing was nuts.
I thought that's
I
where
did a
you were
little
getting
research. I did a little research. I'm like, it's just the end of their calendar. I don't get excited on
Right.
December 25th. I'm like, in a couple days, I will take
The
this
whole thing
calendar
is,
down.
it was just there was so much faith in the Mayans and all their research.
And there
stuff.
should be, because those guys were hugely ahead of their time. I mean, that long count calendar
Yeah.
actually predicted when our solar system is oscillating, when it would be perfectly aligned with the center of the damn galaxy. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even know that until 20 years ago. And here these guys were living in stone huts, grass skirts, what we're led to believe. And how do you know how they didn't have a telescope? So then
They
how
had
the
some
hell?
ET friends, is what they had.
Yeah, that's what I'm agreeing with too, to be honest with you, because there's no way those guys are out there and just like, oh, you know what, that star moves quite a bit. I'm gonna look at it for the next 5,000 years. I'll tell you where it goes, how it goes, and we'll figure out a nice long
You want to
calendar.
give me my club over there so I can go beat an elephant?
Yeah, sure, right? They had to be more advanced than they are.
Yeah.
Look at the stonemasonry. But anyway, that be as it is. We have one more article. It's
Yeah.
mine. And it's going to be a short one, though. 5 government programs that study UFOs.
Number 5.
And this is a little history.
Project Sign.
Yep.
Created by the U.S. Air Force in 1947.
Never heard of that.
Project Sign
Yep.
investigated UFO sightings for most of 1948. Many of the people involved with Project Sign believed that most UFOs were aliens, though when the project ceased, it officially stated that there was not enough data to determine anything conclusive.
Sure.
Number 4. Project Grudge. Remember how we just talked about Project Sign? Soon after it was disbanded, the Air Force took on a new project known as Grudge in 1949. They picked up where Operation Sign left off and continued to investigate UFO sightings. Grudge chalked all the sightings up to misidentified objects, natural phenomenon, or just your everyday human-made aircraft. However, further investigation suggested that Grudge might have suppressed information regarding UFOs that might have pointed to aliens. Number 3.
Blue Book, yep, this is the one I know about.
Project Blue Book. So, Project Sign and Project Grudge ultimately led to a third program known as Operation Blue Book. It began in 1952 and continued to investigate UFOs and determine if they posed any danger to national security. The Air Force compiled tons of scientific data that resulted in the Condon Report. It summed up Blue Book's findings and said that none of the 12,000 plus sightings were aliens and none of them posed any threat to the public. Number 2. Project Magnet. Canada had their programs too. Project Magnet was created in 1950, headed by Wilbur P. Smith, a radio engineer in the Department of Transport. The program wished to study UFOs in order to replicate their technology. Smith published a new book titled The New Science about his research. Number 1. Flying Saucer Working Party. In the UK, the Flying Saucer Working Party was created to gather information about UFOs. In 1950, the FSWP began working with the CIA and gathering thousands of files and investigating over 10,000 reports. They concluded that most sightings were probably optical illusions. Reportedly, those involved urged the government to downplay sightings and even went as far as to recommend to suppress knowledge of unexplained sightings, raising questions among conspiracy theorists.
Now, the reason I brought this up, and I actually thought I had an article that had just the first two actually, is the timeline. It was 47, 48, 48, 49, 49, 50. I mean, this was one project led to the next project, led to the next project, so on and so forth. Then Blue Book came out. We all know about Blue Book. I mean, everyone's heard about Project Blue Book. If you're watching the show, at least you would think you do. But there was two other projects before that. I mean, the government's been researching UFOs a lot for quite a while. And I like that last one because the CIA was helping them. And you had, what they say, 10,000 eyewitness reports. Yep. And they called them optical illusions. There's a shit ton of optical illusions. I don't give a hell who you are. But that I was bringing that up. I thought, like I said, I kind of got thrown off here because I really thought I had the article. My fault, though. I got a little, like, copy-paste happy, I guess. And but the idea was 5 programs. Canada, U.S. was involved in 1 with the U.K., then 3 in the U.S. That, that's what we know of. All saying that, downplay UFO. Why do you have to downplay UFO sightings if they're optical illusions? You don't have to downplay something if you can prove that it's something else, right? So if that's an optical illusion and these guys can prove that it is, which they said that most of them were, all of them were, then they should be able to prove it. So why downplay it? That doesn't make sense.
Because in reality, they don't know themselves.
Exactly right.
No, they know. They back engineered and they got her.
So that could be too, yeah.
And it's funny too because back in the 48 or 47, that's when it all their little things started up. That's also roughly around the time that apparently that Dos Mexico underground thing was dug up as well.
Yeah, you had Roswell about that time, Area 51, the Mexican base. You have a lot. Yeah, right in the 40s and 50s, you have a shit ton of UFO sightings. You have things going on. You just got out of World War II. You have better technology now because war always boosts technology. We know that. You had more cameras out there. You had everything else. So now all of a sudden there's that big influx. So the government starts putting shit into it. Now the government says we have nothing to worry about. There ain't nothing there. We're all fucking nuts and crazy for believing that anything like that could be real. But then they constantly, you brought that document. And that document said to downplay it. And the document had all the, what was that document again?
SOM 1-01.
So, yeah, and that, to me, being in the military, man, that looked like an actual military document, the way the holes were punched and that was pretty good.
Classification, how to pack an ET up, what to do when you recover one, and
very, very interesting, really was. So, yeah, like I said, I don't have much for a conversation point. I like to just be kind of informative at this point in time, kind of like that was the last episode. It wasn't a lot to dive into. There's no real story, but I'm trying to wake up the sheeple a little bit, So.
I was surprised, I didn't know you'd bring anything with the UFOs forward.
Government's been studying for God knows how long, and I swear that even if they're not here, they have to believe that there's something out there. I'm not saying aliens have arrived. I'm sure the hell don't agree with that guy saying he went down a damn hole in the ground and had a bad firefight.
You don't agree with that?
No, I do not agree with that. And the reason behind that was only because I know for a fact if you're going to figure out how to bore holes or blow up shit, you fucking take a test core, which is this big. Unless that man was shrunk down to ant size. Hey, Ant-Man out in the theaters. Shrunk down that big to go down. There's no point in it. There's no reason to put a man in a damn cart and put him down a damn hole just so he can get down there, turn on his flashlight, and be like, "Yep."
You don't know that. You don't know that yet because this was back in the 70s.
They were taking core samples out of Antarctica.
Yeah, you can do core samples, but I mean, maybe it was farther down. Maybe you don't know what kind of stuff they were dealing with.
I'll tell you right now.
Maybe it was a different operation.
That guy
building underground bases ain't really common,
He was fucked somehow. He got mad at the government because he lost his fingers and they didn't give him nothing. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to take this. And then everyone's like, you lost your fingers because you were dumb.
And then he
got
hung himself
mad,
by
and
his
then-
catheter.
That's a little awkward. I don't know how to explain that one. Maybe he didn't know that. He didn't read the instructions.
Hung himself by catheter.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I honestly, I have dealt with catheters. I am a CNA, but I've seen catheters pull apart just by somebody accidentally yanking on one.
Yeah.
They took the tubing and wrapped it around his neck. And
It would have broke.
well, I'm thinking that, maybe he did
Unless he
that
just sat there.
asphyxiation fapping.
Yeah, unless he sat there wrapped around and just held it tight.
I don't know. What I
Actually
do know
hanging
is
himself from it.
I don't know
wouldn't have
how
worked.
that one happened.
That would have snapped.
That I can't explain. That sounds like it's telling somebody to shut the fuck up, and I won't lie to that. That does sound kind of awkward.
He had some, I didn't show it either, but he had some crazy, like, rocks and elements with him that he shouldn't have. Because he was like, you can beat this thing to hell and it's not going to break and stuff. Like, I should have showed that clip at that time, but
Yeah, you might have to send it to
some
me.
crazy elements that
Yeah.
they probably didn't want him to have.
That's not on the periodic table. Well, it'd have to be something made. Well, anyway. So then
This
we're
is
that
another
guy.
good addition on Talk is Cheap.
Three
Where
fingers.
cheap is talk and talk is cheap. I want to thank Chad Loper for joining us.
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure. You did a great job.
A lot of fun.
Maybe we'll have you
Thank
on
you,
again.
sir.
Don't forget to on like, on favorite, and on subscribe from this channel. And don't look at the K2D4 network. And have a good one.
Wait. If we're going to tell them to undo all the things that we really want them to do, should we really tell them to have a good one? Unsubscribe, because we tell you to do it, you ain't going to do it apparently, so we're telling you not to do it, so then should we tell them, like, and have a bad day?
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Bitch
Fuck
and
you
moan.
and have
yeah.
the worst day you could
That's
possibly have.
right, you complaining, whining. Actually, no one's complained or whined about anything.